Hello, Sagittarius. Elsie here to do a reading for you. How are you, my fire family? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I am here doing something just a tiny bit different this week. We are going to look at a three-hand read, which I haven't done in quite some time and I quite enjoy. So we are going to do the three-hand read, and the three hands are going to be career, finances, and love. So let's get to it. Let's talk about career first for you, Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter is what I read for, and welcome here if you've never been here before. I hope that you will stay. Hope you'll subscribe. And if you are, if I'm up in your business being in your feed anyway, if you've gotten this far in and you don't hate me, maybe you'll just subscribe. It makes a big deal to me, maybe not to you, but it does for me. Thank you for your thumbs up, by the way, if you are the Sagittarius that always comes by, if you're my ride or die Sag. Thanks for doing that. Let's find out what's going on for you in career, Sag. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Sag and career. Tell me about Sag. We have the Knight of Cups. We have, Temperance is on deck with the Magician. I like it. Look, something here that has been on a very slow approach is about to pick up speed. And it's not because of any fairy dust that's being sprinkled on you, Sag. It's through hard work is what it is, but it's also through listening to the universe and making the right decisions based on what's best for you. A Temperance card is here, and the Temperance is like back and forth and back and forth. You may be deciding finally on something that you want to do this year. Maybe you don't want to spend another year in the soulless job. Maybe you want to do something different with your time and your energy. And I feel like you are creating the space or the environment. It feels like you're in creation mode. So you've got all the aces up your sleeve, my friend. You can go any which way that you want. There's 4 of them, right? So you can do whatever it is that you want with the energy and the tools that you've been given from the universe. And it feels like you're in creation mode. It's time for me to create a place or a space or some energy to be able to do what I want and call in the thing that I feel has been dragging its heels, getting to me. Something that you really love, that is going to be good with the heart space. We've got the 4 of Wands here. It's going to make me happy, but it's also going to make me stable. It's going to make me want to celebrate. Maybe the 4 of Wands is about being home or having home or celebration at home. Maybe you want to try and do something from home. Maybe you want to make a home business or work from home. Tell me about the career. Tell me more. We've got the Ace of Wands. So there is something exciting that's coming up here, but I think it's in a moment of alchemy. It feels like it is in a moment of, wait a second, let me just look at that thing again. It feels like you have to notice it in order for it to go down. But I feel like the shake that comes from the Temperance card is enough to get your attention. We've got the Star, and the Star's in the reverse. It almost feels like just as you begin to lose hope that feel like I'm just going to be stuck in this dead-end job forever. It feels like just as you start losing hope, it feels like whatever you have been creating, and manifestation is your thought pattern. What are you thinking about? Are you living in the past? Are you wasting your time being angry at someone back there? It feels like somebody here has realized I'm the one that's in control of creating my environment, of creating my future, and creating my own matrix. I can make whatever I want. I just need to believe that it can be, or that it's already here. So I feel like it's comes at a point where you begin to lose hope and that it's just not going to happen. That's when it shows up. An opportunity shows up, something exciting shows up. It does feel like an exciting opportunity that's been taking its damn time getting to you with this Knight of Cups, who is the passive knight. But when the Ace of Wands shows up, it feels like it ignites, it ignites the Temperance energy within you. You stop going back and forth and make a decision. It's like the perfect moment is at the end of this place where you finally are ready to give up. And then it's like you realize you've got the resources, you've got the tools, you can do it. It's like hope comes back for you here. We've got the Ace of Cups, and then you decide to open your heart and go for it. You decide, look, I'm the one with all the aces up my sleeve. Which one do I want to use first? I really want to love what I'm doing. So I feel like it's the Ace of Cups that shows up first for you, or the Ace of Cups that you decide to use. Tell me what happens when Temperance shows up, because this feels like everything has sort of maybe been in this place of, I wish I could have it. I wish. But this moment of Temperance here is a moment where everything you've been manifesting finally falls in place. That's what it feels like. Tell me what that feels like for Sagittarius. We've got the Six of Swords. We've got the Eight of Cups. Oh, very interesting. You have to disconnect from the chaos of the mind first. You have to quiet the mind. This is a real challenge for a lot of people. We are in a time, you know, you're living it as well as me, that we are in a time right now where we are trying to be entertained every moment of every day. I was at a candlelight concert. It was a 4-piece strings, and they were doing ABBA music, like through 4-piece strings. It was beautiful. There was candles everywhere. And I was sitting there in the audience waiting for them to play, and somebody across the aisle from me could not stay off their phone. The whole place is dark. It's all lit up with candles, and this person's on their phone, sitting there looking at their phone. Meanwhile, this beautiful music is going on. I feel like this moment of temperance is when you're finally quiet within yourself, sitting in a room reading a book, drinking your favorite drink without the TV on. The phone is down. It feels like somebody here is finally getting out of the chaos of the mind and going to the calm, disconnecting from everything and everyone that has got them in the whirlwind. And that's when temperance shows up. When the universe finally sees that you're comfortable within yourself. The Seven of Wands is here, where you finally put up the boundaries and said no. And if they're going to text me, that's fine, but I'm not going to answer them until tomorrow morning. Like, you need to have some boundaries. And people understand that a constant feed is just feed. That's all it is. It's not really constructive. Whatever you're consuming makes you feel like you're being constructive, but it's really just the scroll of doom, right? So I feel like it's at a moment where you're just ready to give up here, that something shows up for you. But I feel like you got to quiet the mind in order to hear it. I don't think that it's something that shows up and is in your face and says, "Hey, this is me. This is your moment of alchemy." I think you got to be quiet to hear it. We've got the Six of Pentacles. It might come through another person, an opportunity from someone who wants to pour into you, or somebody who wants to give you reciprocal energy. Someone who thinks you're great for the project, or great for the plan, or great for the business. So let's get to finances. Let's find out what's going on here. Finances. I gotta go to the bottom here. Tell me about finances for Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Finances for Sagittarius, please. Could be today, tomorrow, or next year, my friend. Next week, next year. Whenever it shows up for you. Tell me about Sag and their finances. Ah, there's that opportunity. I'm just saying, I feel like something surprises you. It feels like there's a bit of a surprise that's going to be showing up for you. Oh, look, the star is now in the upright. I like that. The star was in the reverse before, and now the star is in the upright. Now there's something that's coming into a healing stage of hope, is what it feels like. You go from the Five of Pentacles to the star. Instead of feeling like you don't have whatever it is that you want, it feels like you go from feeling in lack to feeling hopeful again, because the Page of Cups shows up. There's some sort of surprise, some sort of financial surprise, or some sort of opportunity to make more money that will surprise you. We have the Five of Swords here. Five of Swords is here with the Five of Wands. So maybe it's something that you were holding back from before. Maybe you weren't ready for it. It feels like something that maybe you had reservations about. Maybe there's just too much competition for that job, too much competition for that financial opportunity. I think I'll hold back just a little bit. I think you were up in your head. I think that's what it was. But let's find out what the surprise is, because I feel like it's going to be a surprise that shows up when, at the moment where you feel like you've lost all hope, and it feels like it makes you hopeful again. We have the Ten of Swords. Something comes to an end, and it feels like something is released, which allows you to slip into the Six of Swords energy. Look, I can't even write it that way, because the last reading, right, was about you getting into this place of calm and getting out of the chaos of your mind and getting out of this place where you were being dragged here, there, and everywhere. Now I feel like you're on this straight path towards something financial. Look, this is like the third reading where the King of Swords has shown up as the foundation of the reading. I feel like the King of Swords is always the one who's on point, the eagle eye, the one who's not going to miss a thing, the one who observes everything in silence and then makes their decision afterwards, which is usually really on point. This person can come off as aloof or detached. This person is also someone who's highly intelligent. They could be a professional, I'm just saying. So somebody here could decide that I need to know what's going on with my finances. I need to get a better hold of my finances. It's time to contact a professional. This is somebody who usually has the last word. They could be an accountant. They could be an actuary. Maybe they're a bank manager. Maybe they're a money manager. But it feels like here that something here is taking you from the chaos to the calm. And I think it's either looking over the ledger, looking over the dollars and cents. You might be enlisting somebody who's a professional so you can let go of debt. So you can release the debt, things that are weighing heavy on you, things that are confusing you, things that are freaking you out. It's really easy to be taken financially when you don't know what your financial situation is. And so I feel like this is what's going to surprise you is I feel like the King of Swords is somebody who's going to show up to help you. This could be a family member, this could be a friend, but I feel like for some of you, it's going to be a professional. This person is going to help you organize your thoughts, organize your money, organize your finances. And when you do that, and you kind of got a hold on everything, that takes you to the place where you're in the star energy. And now you feel more hopeful. Tell me about the 5 of Pentacles, please, as it pertains to finances. Now we go from the 5 to the 8. But listen, what's between 5 and 8? 3. So you're building foundation. Now I'm in collaboration with who? King of Swords. Somebody who is going to show up to help you possibly. Or maybe it's just clarity. I get all the details down. I get all the facts down. But it feels like here that now you start working on building some sort of foundation. We've got the Knight of Swords. And we've got the 8 of Cups. So I feel like what you're doing is you're disconnecting from the outcome. I feel like you are detaching from the outcome and you're really focused. Look at this. This particular knight is really focused on that sword. I really feel like you're focused on the truth of the financial situation and what you're going to have to do in order to correct the financial situation. For some of you, it might be more schooling. For some of you, it might be I need an extra job or I need a part-time gig. It feels like there is something that you're willing to do, willing to work hard on. Maybe you just need to work harder on yourself, which means maybe finding a course, maybe finding some sort of a certificate thing, right? We've got the 8 of Cups here. And so it feels like with the 8 of Cups that you're going to emotionally disconnect from the outcome. This now is become work. We're looking at a bunch of swords, right? We're looking at being truthful, honest, factual. We're just going to take the emotions out of it. I'm going to stop being worried about it. And I'm just going to find my way factually. And I think it leads to the Star, who's also Aquarius, like this Knight of Swords, by the way. The King of Swords. We have the 9 of Swords. Yeah, I think it gets rid of your worry. I just love this. So you got the 9 of Swords. It tells me you stop worrying. Now you're the artist. Now you know what you can create because you know what you're working with, right? Right. Let's get to some love. Let's find out what's going on in terms of love for Sagittarius. Sagittarius in love, Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Sag. Sag, this is the one we're going to take into the extension. And I will tell you all about that at the end of the reading, how we're going to find the extended. And we will talk a little bit about this, and then we'll finish it in the extended. Tell me about Sag and love. Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter. I think I've been seeing astrologers say that Sagittarius, this is your year to find love. Or your relationship status will change. And that doesn't necessarily mean finding love. It means changing sometimes. Tell me about Sag. Look at this. I feel like somebody here is about to find an emperor who's obsessed with you. Look at that. Page of Cups is here. I don't think you see it coming. You have got a bunch of surprises showing up for you, I think, coming pretty soon here. So we do have an emperor. We have somebody who is good, who is, I really love this card because you can see that he's got all of these, this big hat, which means he's got a big brain or he's really intelligent. He's got the wide mustache, which means that he's got a lot of wisdom, I guess, and very decorated. In this case, it looks like it's a bunch of tarot cards, but nonetheless, somebody who I feel is has had a lot of growth. There's a lot of flowers and stuff on the lapel. Somebody who's quite stoic. Somebody who's very balanced. I feel like that mustache means well, it's a tree branch, but it looks like there's growth, and I feel like it's growth and stability. So it does feel like, I feel you're going to meet somebody new, and I think this person is going to be emperor-like in that they're probably an entrepreneur, or there's somebody who has, control of their own time, efforts, energy, and money. Like, it's not like they have to answer to anybody. They're probably the boss of something. They might be the top dog somewhere, but it feels like somebody who's really in charge of what is going on in their own life. The devil energy, yeah, it feels like a little bit of obsession. It's like spider to the fly energy. It feels like this emperor is looking for someone, and I think you're going to be surprised. Like, when you meet this person, you're not expecting to meet them, is what I'm saying. I think it's going to be a pleasant surprise. We've got the 10 of Wands. Oh, it comes after you release some sort of burden you've been carrying around. The Page of Swords is here. Oh, the burden you've been carrying is that you've been heartbroken. And so I feel like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound happy that you were heartbroken, if that's what you think I'm doing. I went, because the 3 of Swords being in the reverse, I really like, because it tells me that you're healing frustration, healing heartbreak, healing disappointment. And then the 10 of Wands is telling me that the reason you're healing it is because you're ready to let it go. You're ready to drop it. And that is what calls in the Emperor. Because now you're in a place where you're kind of detached. I feel like you're really focused on growth. I feel like you're focused on learning. You're focused on growth. You might be taking a course. And I feel like the Emperor shows up as somebody who's kind of obsessed with you. And it feels like it shows up pretty quickly. Look, that Sag energy. You've got the 8 Wands for some of you. It could be 8 weeks. Weeks are wands for me. Temperance is here. You're going to know when you meet them because they make you feel immediately calm. They make you feel immediately leveled off. The Magician is here. You created it. You manifested them. This might be the person you will commit to. We've got the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. Let's talk about this Emperor a little bit before we go into the extended, Sag. Tell me a little bit about this Emperor. We've got the 7 of Cups. This Emperor is somebody who is looking for someone, but they're looking for something specific. We've got the 7 of Cups here. And the 7 of Cups, you can see somebody is like, even though there's all those stars in the sky, I'm picking that one. I feel like the one they're picking is you. So the Emperor doesn't ever have to wander about wondering if anybody wants them. When the Emperor steps in the room, they're in charge of the room. I'm here wondering who's looking at me. I'm not looking at anybody else. The Emperor doesn't chase people, essentially. The Emperor makes decisions about people. So it feels like the 7 of Cups energy is like, it goes from having a lot of options to making one decision about one thing. Even though there's a lot of stars in the sky, the Emperor is deciding on one. We've got the Ace of Cups because they're ready to love. This person is ready to love. The Ace of Cups. Oh, the Knight of Wands. So look, this person's going to be kind of hotty-toddy. I'm just saying, they're going to be very dashing, I want to say. They might be someone who is kind of hot. Look, we got fire here. Someone who's willing to jump through hoops for you. It feels like someone who is not risky, but is brave and confident, I would say, because they're brave and confident. That's a kind of a good combination, right? Someone whose heart is open and they're ready to find a love that will change their life, something that's going to transform them, because this person holding onto the cup here, what's falling out is a bunch of butterflies. So I'm going to say that, you might get butterflies when you see this person. It feels like that because you've done the job of healing from something that really hurt you back there, it almost feels like this is a reward or a surprise or something good that's coming, because the Page of Cups is always about good news, and the Page of Swords is about something you've learned. I think you've learned about the devil energy. And so the devil energy could be like, I've learned that just because they look good on the outside, it doesn't mean they're good on the inside. It feels like you've learned some sort of a lesson, or you've realized that, not everybody is somebody who is there because they are interested in a long-term relationship. Some of them are there just to be codependent for a short time and a little bit toxic. We're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk more about this, and look at that. It's because you know your worth. Somebody here has done a lot of work, and congratulations to you. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's got it together. We're in the pre-Empress energy, ready to step into the Empress energy, and guess who's at the center of your read? We'll talk more about that. Look, if you want to see me clarify the rest of this, we will go into the extended next, and if you'd like to be there, please look at the top of the comment section. There is one pinned comment there, and if you open it up and click on more, you will see that there is a link there for the membership area. All of the extendeds, that's where they live. In the membership area, you will get 4 at least in a month if you are looking at one sign, but of course you'll get 4 for each sign you're looking at. So if you'd like to do that, you can. If you'd like to purchase this extended outright, you can do that as well. There is a link there for that. And if you are interested in a private reading, please know that private readings are open. There is a link as well to Hypsee there. It's the only place where you can book me. I do have readings that begin at $25. They go up from there. I've got a lot of packages, and the $25 reading is a 48-hour turnaround time. It's a quick read. It's no backstory. It's just a question. Give you a quick answer, and it goes up from there depending on how detailed you want for your reading. I'm going to go for now, but I will be back because I am always back for you, Sag, and we're going to go to the extended. Hope to see you there. I'm going to go for now. Take care. Bye-bye.